My fellow chatters, how's it going tonight? I don't think I've ever opened a stream with that before, but we did tonight. I'm still somewhat sick, if you couldn't already tell by my voice, but we're doing a lot better. So you guys don't need to worry about me. We're here to chill tonight, partially, but we also have a couple of big things to talk about, including the longest tracking tornado since the Mayfield, Kentucky tornado all the way back in 2021 has now been confirmed from last month's major tornado outbreak across the mid-Mississippi Valley. So, I'm going to go ahead and share this out. I encourage y'all to do the same. We have got some important stuff to discuss tonight, as I said. Just give me just a second here. How's it going tonight, boys? Whoa, we've already got a lot of people in here. What's upsetting about? It's all good. Don't even worry, dude. I just, I guess I probably shouldn't put stuff like that in the community tab anymore. That's the lesson I got out of that one. Silly Seal, Random Texan Guy, Bike, Misty, Evan, Meteorology Unleashed, Severe Weather, Mr. Twister, CPT Jarrett, Gooseman, how's it going? Darian, Cardboard, what's up? I did not expect to have this many people in here this early, but here we are. So, give me just a second here. Again, I was not expecting this because last night we had a very small showing, which was fine. Again, I don't expect a lot for, a late night chill stream, but I hope everybody's doing great tonight. Again, I'm a little sick, as I'm sure you can hear in my voice. I think I just have a bad cold. Not quite as bad as last night, so we're chilling. But, for anybody that's not aware, what I'm talking about there in the title, there is now a confirmed tornado from the March 14th event that tracked over 100 miles. Now, a lot of you guys may already know about the Franklin, Arkansas EF4. That's what we're talking about here. If we go ahead and look this up here on X, we'll go ahead and bring this up for you guys. Let me go ahead and get a little screen share up for y'all. This tornado has had a huge upgrade to the track, as it is now confirmed that this tornado and a secondary tornado that we thought was separate, that was rated EF3, were both one, which is a huge deal because that makes this extremely long tracking because they were both already very long tracking. Now, this is the longest tracking tornado in 4 years. And if you go past Mayfield, it takes you a long time to get back to anything like this in terms of tornado track distance. So, again, a pretty huge deal here. I guess you can't really see that. We'll go ahead and do something like this where we bring the face cam down. And then we bring the screen capture up. There we go. Look at how smart I am sometimes. So, here we go. The first thing I saw on this was Matthew Capucci's post, but there were obviously a lot of other things. That's Levi's tweet. I just looked up Franklin, and that's what popped up. But, no, bro, you're good. Yeah, again, it was nothing serious. I'm just not going to put stuff like that on the community tab anymore. But anyway, again, I don't think I made my message super clear what I meant in that post, but anyways, yes, the Franklin, Arkansas tornado now has a confirmed 119-mile track by the National Weather Service. Now, this is the same tornado that we were covering pretty much all night long. Here's Matthew Capucci's actual post here. This is what I originally saw. Again, you can see that this tracked the portions of far northeastern Arkansas, went all the way back through sections of southeast Missouri to near Poplar Bluff. So again, this was a very, very strong tornado. But the most impressive thing by far, the track. Again, you can see 9:11 p.m. to 10:56 that was on the ground. Port Arthur, for example, was on the ground for about 2 hours. However, that didn't track nearly as long, so it was much slower moving. A 119-mile track is not something that we've seen in a long time. In fact, in the state of Arkansas, the last time that we saw that was 2008. So this is a huge deal. I believe this is in the top 20 longest tracking Arkansas tornadoes of all time. Maybe even more than that, actually. We can go ahead and bring up Tornado Archive. And thank you for all the support tonight, guys. I was not expecting this many viewers. I'm just kind of sick right now, so sorry about that. Again, we're just doing a chill stream tonight. I've been doing more of these recently. I think you guys enjoy them. I know that I enjoy them. But anyway, give me just a second here. Uh, yeah, I posted something just a little bit ago here that we can bring up. These are my thoughts on the most probable peak wind speeds for every violent tornado that we've had so far in 2025. I gave Diaz a 205 mile an hour guess because based off of damage, it was 190 according to the National Weather Service. And again, in my opinion, off of damage, you could give it the EF5 rating alone. But whenever you take into account that it also tracked outside of Diaz, there's almost a 100% chance that it was 200 plus, but I've been kind of modest here. I went with a 205 with Diaz. Franklin, Arkansas, I gave it 195 just because it was on the ground for so long and it was in a rural area. Tylertown, Mississippi, 190 miles an hour. Again, this was probably the least intense of the EF4 plus tornadoes that we've seen so far this year. I guess just EF4s. We haven't had any EF5s, obviously, but still a very violent tornado. Again, just based off of damage alone, it was 170, and that was in a super rural area, so there's a good chance that this as well was, 200 plus, but I went ahead and threw out the 190 tag just to be safe, and then I also put Lake City in there, because in my opinion, that should have been rated EF4, but I gave it the 200 mile an hour guess. Not really a guess, but an educated guess, just based off the fact that we did have horizontal vortices. The strongest point in its track was in an extremely rural area, so it's just kind of hard to pinpoint that one's exact strength, but I gave it my best shot there. I had somebody quote it. We're kind of getting off topic here. We'll talk about that more later. Anyway, again, Franklin's track, now 119 miles. Again, longest tracking tornado since Mayfield, which is unbelievable. It is also, another thing that we can talk about, the anniversary of the historic Bassfield Soso, Mississippi tornado that occurred on April 12th. Look at that. We pulled up Tornado Archive, and it just gave me the Palm Sunday outbreak. That's crazy, because yesterday was the 60-year anniversary of it. But the April 12th, 2020, major tornado outbreak. One of the biggest tornado outbreaks in recent history. This was a super outbreak across portions of Dixie Alley, but obviously the most noteworthy tornado was the Bassfield Soso Wedge. This was one of the largest tornadoes of all time. Its actual width was over 2 miles. Again, this completely destroyed the community of Soso, Mississippi. We had several swaths of EF4 damage there, even just after it had touched down. And again, this was also a super long tracking tornado. This was on the ground for almost 70 miles there, which is pretty crazy considering that on April 12th, we had, multiple other tornadoes going on in the same region. It's surprising that we didn't see a total merge at one point. Yeah, about 2.2 miles, I believe. But, I mean, it was very violent. Again, we have almost 100 injuries with that, 8 fatalities. Again, very, very deadly Mississippi tornado there. And then you've also got several other very impressive ones. We had the EF4 tornado that ended up impacting areas like Sartonville. This one was a little bit less intense. We only had a very tiny swath of EF4 intensity damage. But again, obviously, every EF4 tornado is very serious. And again, it was in a very rural area. So the fact that it got that rating at all was pretty impressive. And it was still a good mile wide, which is pretty crazy. We also had the super long tracking. This is the longest tracking tornado of the day, I believe. The super long tracking EF3 that went near Collins and Taylorsville, Mississippi, over a mile wide. Very, very damaging tornado. Again, likely would have been rated higher if it was in a more populated region. And then South Carolina as well actually got some action this day. I just call this the rural South Carolina tornado. I haven't done a whole lot of research on this one, but EF4 tornado there, 5 fatalities, 60 injuries. Again, about 3/4 of a mile wide. So pretty intense tornado there in rural South Carolina. But again, we were talking about tornadoes all across Dixie Alley this day. So anyways, again, crazy that we are already 5 years from that happening. That's also the historic image of one of the most intense mesoscale discussions of all time. If we look at this, the mesoscale discussion for the Bassfield Soso tornado, the most violent worded mesoscale discussion in all of history. A violent tornado. They didn't even say likely a violent tornado. They said a violent tornado. Hold on. If we could full screen the picture, that would be nice. You gonna be anywhere here? Yep, there we go. A violent tornado with potential peak winds of 170 to 205 miles an hour is likely ongoing. They literally self-admitted in the mesoscale while the tornado was still on the ground that it could be of EF5 intensity. That just blows my mind. I've never seen them say something like that for any other tornado. Again, one of the top 5 largest tornadoes in all of history. Very, very violent. Yeah, I mean, it was insane. And again, it's crazy that, almost exactly 5 years later, we were dealing with, oh, shoot. I'm sorry to hear that, Southwest Mississippi. But anyway, I was just in shock whenever we were dealing with a tornado emergency for those same exact communities that were impacted on April 12th, 2020. I mean, it's just devastating. And again, obviously, yesterday was the anniversary of the historic Palm Sunday outbreak, but not just the 1965 outbreak. Obviously, that was the most noteworthy one. We had the potentially, I would say, the most iconic photo of twin tornadoes of all time. You could argue maybe the twin tornadoes in Nebraska, but I would say that these were the most intense twin tornadoes of all time in northern Indiana this day, near the towns of Goshen, as well as, what was the other one they always mention? Oh, where's it at? Dunlap. It's Dunlap, yeah. So, obviously, very historic photo there from northern Indiana with the Palm Sunday outbreak. If we go ahead and bring this up on Wikipedia. Give me just a second here. There we go. This is just, in my opinion, this may honestly be the most iconic tornado photo of all time. Not just factoring in, the twin tornado tag there. Ugh. No, these were twin EF4 tornadoes. Again, I actually did a poll the other day for the Nebraska twins for you guys to decide whether or not they should have been rated EF5. And you guys, for the most part, decided yes, but only the southern one. That was the general consensus there. But obviously, very violent day for tornadoes outside of that. In total, we dealt with hundreds of fatalities. We had over 3,000, likely closer to 4,000 injured. Again, this was before tornado records were kept as well as they are today. So the likelihood that we only had 47 tornadoes, very low. You'll see they're all, very high end. You don't see any EF0s on there. It means there were likely a lot more tornadoes than what we're seeing on this map right now. But again, what we do know, it is just unbelievably devastating. And again, outside of the 1965 outbreak, April 11th is a historic day for portions of Dixie Alley in the Midwest. Obviously, we had the outbreak in Missouri, one of the earliest recorded full-scale tornado outbreaks in history back in the 1800s. Multiple F4s impacting portions of Missouri. We also dealt with a significant outbreak here in Dixie Alley back in the 40s. I did not know about this one. But apparently we had an F4 hit downtown Hackleburg. That's crazy. Anyways. Excuse me, F-Force, not EF-Force. But yeah, we've had so many anniversaries of historic tornado dates, and obviously, that's just how it goes whenever you're in April. Pretty much every day in April, at some point, has had a historic tornado outbreak associated with it. Again, it's just unbelievable. The kind of stuff that we've been seeing this year. And, even on the days that we're not saying anything, we're reminded of, tragedies like this where, people are out doing their thing, enjoying their weekend, enjoying their life. And that just gets completely disrupted for everybody across, whatever area the tornado outbreaks impacts. But anyway... again, it's just crazy. So, again, Franklin tornado, 119 mile an hour tracker for reference. If we look in here on Tornado Archive, we'll do path length, and we'll say it has to be over 119 miles. What? Why did that not work? Path length 119 miles. Oh, wait, we just need the number. Yep. Oh, that was 199. Dang it, dude. Hold on, chat. Come on. 119 miles. There we go. These are all the tornadoes in history that tracked over 119 miles. There are only 44 of them. Sam with the $2 dono. Davis needs a low taper fade. I will not be getting that, but I appreciate the $2 donation. W. Sam's down below in the chat, and you, my good sir, are going up on the dono board. I don't even have one set up for this stream. This is how unprepared I am tonight. But seriously, thank you so much, Sam, for the $2 donation. That's incredible. So Sam with the $2. W. Sam's down below in the chat. Show him that he's loved. No, I don't really want to go bald. I'm not gonna lie. But, anyways, again, it is crazy. A link. I don't know how to send a link. Hold on. Let me see if I can figure it out. Profile. I suppose I could just put my email in there. That would be a lot more effective. Seriously, though, you don't have to donate. You know what, Sam? I'll get a low taper fade if you really want me to. Peace out, Evan. But, again, thank you so much, Sam, for the $2 dono. That's awesome. There we go. That should give you the right one. Again, you don't have to donate. Your car got declined? That's a rip. That happened to me once when I was donating to Max Velocity. I appreciate the thought, though. What's the Black to Illinois? That is a tornado that didn't get a rating. The reason that doesn't have a rating is because this was all the way back in the 1800s, but just the fact that it tracked almost as long as Tri-State makes me think that it was likely very violent. I just get that impression. It was also about 2/3 of a mile wide. So, again, not a lot is known about this tornado, other than the fact that it did tear through portions of southern Illinois there. Nothing like an 1800s tornado. Oh, I forgot to do something. Oh, no. I think I know who that was that just typed in the chat. I think I forgot to do something. Uh-oh. Let's fix that. Okay. If that's who I think you are, you should be good to go on the main account. We were gonna do this. Alright, I promised we would do this, folks. It is the revival. The revival. I did, Candy, yeah. Yeah, I'll hit up Ryan Hall saying, do you want me to fill Riley Dibble's place? Not like Riley Dibble's one of the most talented young meteorologists in history, but no, I'm happy for him. And again, it looks like it was all in good. He left in good terms. There was no bad blood or anything between him and Ryan. Ryan was wishing him good lucks and everything, so that's awesome. But he is a part of the Max Velocity team now. It's a little sad to see him go, because he's been doing that for Ryan for like over 2 years now. Riley's like, I don't know how old Riley is. I met him in real life. It was in my vlog. That's the first thing that pops up is age. It's crazy. I think he's like 20 something. Young 20s, I want to say. I don't know. But we were talking about the Franklin, Arkansas tornado. It's not the actual rating that got upgraded, but the track. It was confirmed to be two separate tornadoes. Or it was confirmed to be one tornado when it was originally thought to be two separate tornadoes. So it is now the longest tracking tornado This says since Dresden, Tennessee, which I guess technically was on the same day as Mayfield, just slightly after. So yeah, same day as the Mayfield, Kentucky tornado. We've been trolling with this. Look at this. Wow, 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 wow. I hopped in on the chain. But anyway. But yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. So, for anybody that's wondering here about Monday, because I will tell you, I am almost certain that we're going to see an uptrend on Monday before the actual day of the event. Storm mode already looks to be getting somewhat nasty. Now remember, we're not dealing with hardly any cape out here in this environment, which is going to be a huge killer if we wanted to see something in terms of a big-time tornado threat. But I actually do think that we're going to end up seeing a pretty significant hail threat. And again, a couple of tornadoes... That was a horrible voice crack. Ugh. A couple of tornadoes definitely could not be ruled out, especially now that we are starting to see those increased cape values across portions of northern Appalachia. They're potentially up to 1,500 joules per kilogram across portions of, like eastern Kentucky, West Virginia, and surrounding areas there, based off of the newest NAM run. And I think if we continue to see that uptrend, we actually could be looking at a somewhat significant tornado threat for sections of the eastern Ohio Valley. But as of right now, what we're mainly going to be looking out for are damaging winds and large hail. Again, our significant tornado parameter values here are not even hitting 1 yet on the NAM model, so not a whole lot to, watch out for. But if we pull a random sounding here from eastern Kentucky, we can see that we have some really nasty hail analogs. And that is because we've got some crazy lapse rates. We got lapse rates of 8, so hail will be great. We've got a significant drop-off in those temperatures and the higher levels of the atmosphere there, which is what is causing those increased, those increased lapse rate values. Again, we're dealing with a decent amount of shear. We got about 60 knots of shear or so at the effective layer. I need you to read the things I just said, please. What did you say? I missed it. Can we do HRRR yet? I guess we can. Just barely, though. If we go back to... we already are on the 0Z here. Okay. I have a typo in my latest post. Of course I do. Dude, I'm so bad about that, and then people will call me out, and I'll be like, that's so embarrassing. But anyway, massive CC drop in your membrane. Alright, sounds good. But again, significant tornado or I guess we're looking at cape values now. Surface-based cape values here based off of the HRRR model. Again, those kind of peak at around 1,800 joules per kilogram or so across sections of, again, an enhanced swath of cape values across parts of eastern Kentucky and another one across portions of West Virginia. This will be a true Appalachian outbreak here for sure. If we take a look at shear values, again, this is all within the first kilometer of the atmosphere. We've got shear up to 40 knots, which again, for the first kilometer of the atmosphere, that's pretty crazy. The first 6 kilometers of the atmosphere, again, you're talking, up to 100 knots of shear. So, pretty crazy stuff. Again, definitely going to be enough to support at the very least, a full-scale severe weather outbreak. Significant tornado parameter values on the HRRR. Obviously, since HRRR is a little more high-res, they're a little bit higher. But if we pull a random... That's contaminated. That's fun. If we pull a random sounding here, again... Those hail analogs are the craziest things, but we do have a significant supercell analog on there as well. Whoa, buy myself. Oh my goodness, we've got a double donation. Sam with the $2, buy yourself a Nutty Bar. Dude, Nutty Bars are actually goated. Oh my goodness, I actually think I might have some in my cabinet right now. I'm trying to cut down on stacking though, but I appreciate it. And then Mr. Twister with the $1.10. W Sam and Mr. Twister down below in the chat, boys. Let's go. But yeah, Nutty Bars are good, and I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, thank you so much for the $2 and $1.10 donations, respectively. So let's go ahead and throw Mr. Twister up there on the dono board as well. Okay. That got bad very fast. You like them frozen? That actually sounds kind of good. I never really thought about that, but that sounds really good. But seriously, though, thank you so much, Mr. Twister and Sam, for the donations. Again, helps me know that this is going to be a career option for me in the future because this is what we love doing. And I'm proud to say that this month alone, within the past 30 days, we have given over $700 to help clean up after severe storms and tornadoes. That's good, Mr. I saw your text. I didn't respond to that. That's my bad, but I saw your text about that. I hope you're doing all right. But yeah. Okay, you can see that on our photograph, we got actually a pretty impressive wind profile there. This is goated. Cherry Coke with a splash of root beer. Don't knock it till you try it. Anyway, again, mainly to be looking at a wind and hail threat, but with an uptrend in storm mode, certainly can't rule out a couple of tornadoes. And with a couple of major uptrends, maybe even a significant one. But again, pretty far out to say stuff like that. But again, recent runs on the HRRR Dam somewhat support a tornado threat. Yes. Specifically in the Southern Plains arcs, things look to get somewhat active here pretty soon. You know what? I'd go as far to say more than somewhat active. I'd say quite active, which is not good. If we look at the GFS model, which obviously you're not going to have a great time forecasting long range with the GFS, and especially grabbing soundings, maybe a little silly for us to do, but we're going to do it anyway. You can see there that we're going to be dealing with actually a decent chance for a couple of systems to move through the Central Plains here very soon, as we're going to have that nice cold, dry air from the Rockies and the Pacific Northwest mixing with that Gulf of Mexico moisture. It's a classic setup. I want to get a sounding here that's not contaminated or busting. So that would be nice if we could do that. But, oh shoot, yeah. Definitely shouldn't pull soundings off reflectivity. Don't know why I thought that was a good idea. Here we go. Alright, give us a signal for something here. We'll pull off of where the highest Cape values are just for a better chance. David should shave his eyebrows. No. Davis's hairline looks like Smithsville's ground scouring. What did I do to deserve this? Anyway. Okay, we're not going to be able to pull it just off of surface-based Cape either. We'll look at supercell composite values. That should be a good idea. There we go. Marginal torque sounding. That's exactly what I wanted. Thank you. That's all I wanted for Christmas. Was a marginal torque sounding in the Central Plains in mid-April. That's just the best thing. Best thing you can get in life. Whoa! WX Clips with the $5 dono. I think I know what you're referencing there. But W Clips in the chat. Let's go. And yes, I am indeed. I'm right now in Max Flossie's basement, streaming this to you guys live. But thank you so much. Clips. We're just going to call you Clips. With the $5 dono. That's incredible. W Clips in the chat. They're not mags, they're clips. Shout out to those of you who get it. I'm sorry to the ones that didn't. That probably sounded so unfunny. I have the same shade as Rochelle for... Like, what? What is that even supposed to mean? Okay. Anyway. Got a severe sounding, significant supercell analog on that one. But if we go a little bit further, again, this is going to be just so inaccurate just because we're pulling, 130 hours out on the GFS. But we're going to do it anyway just because we need something to get our minds creative here. We'll go from hour 129, and we'll go to northeast Kansas, where we've got those highest supercell composite values. Okay, never mind. We're not going to do that. They're not mags, they're clips. No, they're not clips, they're mags. Anyway. Again, GFS isn't going to give us probably anything higher than a marginal torque sounding just because it's a long-range forecasting model. And it's not going to give us the most specific, high-resolution soundings. But I thought we could find something fun there just to get our minds going, but we couldn't, which is quite unfortunate. So, I don't have a 5-head. My 4-head is not that big. I did this last time and I got clipped, but we're going to do it again. because the person that clipped it is no longer here anymore. He didn't die. That sounded bad, but he does not resonate with the community anymore. We'll just put it that way. I don't know if you all have seen the kind of stuff that person has been putting on social media, but anyway. That reminds me, we need a new Davis's Weather Clips maker. But anyway, chat, here's what we're going to do. We are going to... Actually, we should call up Levi. Should we call up Levi? Oh, yeah, your name is literally WX Clips. Yeah, we should do that. This is like the worst... Why do I pull up YouTube while I'm live? I get the most curse recommended every time. Every time. Anyways, let's go ahead and call up Pevy. Forehead joke equals ban. Low-key, probably should. No, I'm kidding. We'll just call up the boys in general, but I don't think anybody can call except for Pevy tonight. Let's see if he'll join us. If not, I have a backup plan here, alright? I always come prepared whenever I'm desperate for content. Look at this, my stream right now, because we don't have a thumbnail for today. We're going to react to the moment that Davis Does Weather had to take shelter live on stream. Let's do it, chat. Should I make a Davis Does Weather Clips channel? That seems kind of stupid. Anyways, let's do it. Let's watch this.
Hey, you only met...
Here's where Davis Does Weather had to take shelter live on stream. In all seriousness, though, this is a pretty scary night because there was a wedge tornado. 5 miles to the north of me. So that was not good.
This is supposedly
my haircut was cooked.
and extremely dangerous.
I had so much hair.
In Arkansas.
Wow. Again, this is April 2nd.
Again, we're going to be
not
watching
the
this
last
feed
virus that we
like
had.
a hawk, guys. I mean, this is insane.
So I noticed, I kind of knew that it was going to happen about 10 minutes before it actually got issued, because the rotation with that storm was one of the most impressive rotations we had in the state of Illinois at that time, if not the most. And again, eventually it went on to produce a tornado that was a high-end, not a high-end, but an EF2 that tracked for 45 miles and was 2/3 of a mile wide, which is insane. I had some friends that got, like, their barns destroyed and everything like that. We said this earlier. Every supercell that manages to stay discrete in today's environment is going to have the potential to produce a significant tornado. That's exactly what's happening right now.
Yeah,
again,
significant tornadoes are likely still on the ground.
So here's where I noticed, like,
going back
okay,
up
yep, it's over for me, because it was heading right towards me as well at this point.
And likely going to see an extension for some of these tornado warnings here very shortly. Again, a PDS tornado warning remains in effect for Cape Girardeau, Missouri. We also have another tornado warning for Wilton, Missouri.
All right, guys, that's the best part.
Missouri.
So, if you don't know, the reason I was looking over here at my phone, I was saying, before the alert even came through, is because Radar Omega came in clutch, and it did it, like, it gave me the alert, like, 5 seconds before the actual alert on my phone went off. Like, the wireless emergency alert.
Alright, guys, it is time for me
and
to go.
then we took shelter, and I wanted to get out as quickly as possible. I waited till the rotation passed over me, because it actually looked quite intense, and again, it was, obviously. But while we were down there, look at this. Wedge on the ground. Wedge on the ground on Storm Media. And I didn't even realize that. I was looking at Connor Croft's feed. But we got to this part. We get back. I didn't realize I was muted for the beginning, but unmuted. And
safe spot.
Covered.
This is one of the most violent
tornadoes we've ever covered on this channel. The Lake City Wedge. Again, just a devastating tornado, especially considering the same area had been impacted less than 4 years earlier, about 3 years earlier, on the same night as Mayfield. Same supercell. But yeah. Anyway, chat. Forehead jokes are real. what else do we? What else do we talk about, chat? How long have we been live for? Half an hour? 34 minutes, 34 likes. Let's get the stream to 50 likes, chat. Our severe weather threat today in Montana performed about like what we were expecting. I mean, maybe you could say the wind threat slightly underperformed, along with the hail threat, but again, it's a marginal risk. And in all honesty, looking at the HRRR model, I kind of figured we were really going to end up seeing some thunder showers and not much else, but we saw a little beyond that. We've got a couple of thunder boomers that have managed to convect out here in southeastern Montana and northwest South Dakota. And earlier this evening, we were dealing with several recorded gusts of about 50 to 55 miles an hour. Again, the peak probable intensity of gusts, what I said earlier, was about 60 to 70 miles an hour, so little bit off on that one. But again, I genuinely do think that Monday could be something for the eastern Ohio Valley as well as northern Appalachia. I'm already predicting the title, the Appalachia severe weather outbreak as it happened. So anyway, what? I thought we were over the forehead jokes like half a year ago. But anyway, again, I think it all comes down to how much instability we get here in the Ohio Valley. Because if we're dealing with a situation like it looked like originally where we have 200 Cape, we're not seeing any tornadoes. We may not even see any, severe thunderstorms at that point. But if we do end up seeing, 1,500, 2,000 Cape, or even higher than that, like the recent models have been suggesting is possible, then we could be dealing with a decent scale tornado event. Specifically across the southern portion of this slate risk. So we're going to watch out, certainly. Again, if they do add an enhanced risk, it would likely be for wind, and it would likely look something like this. Probably include the Pittsburgh metro area, all the way down towards Charleston, West Virginia. But I genuinely don't know severe weather. Talking about the person in chat, not the topic. It would be kind of embarrassing if I didn't know severe weather, considering I built myself a channel with 4,000 subscribers over the past years. But anyways, it's wild because we are dealing with also a potential for a winter storm here pretty soon. Across portions of the Northeast. If we actually take a look here at the precipitation type, we can see that we are expecting a lot of mixing to occur. But again, especially if you're up there in like the higher not the Appalachians, the higher mountaintops of the Poconos, and maybe the northern portions of the Appalachians as well, we could not rule out some significant snowfall accumulations, especially with that lake effect snow there after the event's over. This is actually a pretty typical winter storm type event to see, in the wintertime. But we would figure that it would be... earlier in the season. But again, potential for over a foot of snow definitely there, especially for portions of upstate New York, northern Vermont, northern New Hampshire. And then you get back up towards, like Atlantic Canada, you could be talking about, 2, potentially even over 3 feet of snow. So pretty significant lake effect snow event incoming for northern New England. But yeah. I will say winter was very intense this year, but it got cut quite short. But I feel like January, again, this was the third coldest January across the United States on record. So definitely a better winter than we had last year, to say the least. But this will go down as a historic winter. You have a Gulf Coast blizzard bringing a foot of snow to portions of Florida. Never has happened before. You have Winter Storm Blair shutting down the entirety of interstates from, Kansas to Pennsylvania. You've got just so many other things. We had so many major ice storms across the Mid-South and even across portions of the Midwest. I mean, it has been a rough winter. So, but again, it kind of got cut short whenever we hit February, where we had that huge warm up, and all that warm up brought us was a bunch of bust events in Dixie Alley. Not necessarily bust events, but underperforming events, to say the least. Whistler, Mississippi did not have a fun time this winter, I'll say that much. I mean, this is like exactly how 2024 started, except for we're getting an earlier start to the intense severe weather. 2024 did not have anything nearly as crazy as what we've seen so far until at least the April 26th event. And again, it looks like around mid-April, we are going to have a very active stretch of severe weather for the plains. Finally, the plains have been waiting their time. They have been waiting their turn for so long now. We've had like 2 confirmed tornadoes in Kansas so far this year. It's been rough, but typically the plains get a later start anyways. Usually the plains see most of their activity in May. For example, May 3rd, 1999, May 31st, 2013, May 27th, 1997. You can go on and on. But April 26th should have been a high risk. Again, I don't like saying stuff like that because it's easy to say that after the event's already happened. The SPC, nobody predicted that we were going to end up seeing anything near what the Elkhorn tornado brought us on that day. So it just feels wrong to say, oh, they should have done that, whenever in reality, we didn't know, But anyway, that's just me. Max forecasted a dust storm in the Atlantic. Good for him, bro. Yeah, it's good. We'll say it's very interesting how the SPC started doing mesoscales for specific tornadoes and severe thunderstorm events almost exactly whenever EF5 tornadoes stopped happening. 2 weeks before the Moore tornado, the last EF5 tornado, they threw out the first ever mesoscale that related to one tornado. Very interesting. The night where we had the most of these in a single day was definitely December 10th. But again, April 12th also had quite a few. December 16th, 2019 is more of a forgotten one. It's so weird. We always get an early December tornado event in, like, the Mid-South. It is so weird. For example, 2023's December 9th, 2023. 2024, we had December 28th. We can't look at that on archive, I guess, but 2022, I know we still had something. I want to say it was like December 3rd we had a pretty intense outbreak. Am I tweaking? Nope, that's not 2022, Davis. It wasn't December 3rd, but it was somewhere around there. 2021, obviously, we had December 10th. Look behind me. There's somebody there. Yep. You got me. That's crazy, Mr. Twister. Oh my goodness. There's a ghost. Max is outside my window. No, this is his room, remember? December 15th, 2021 was... Do I remember that? Oh, that was the derecho, yeah. Well, that was more so of a wind event, but it was also a super outbreak. The only thing is, again, with derecho events, you're not going to see, EF3 plus tornadoes. But the widespread strong tornadoes that night in Iowa were incredible. And not something you almost ever see in December. We had 4 significant tornadoes in Wisconsin on that night. In total, we had 10 tornadoes in Wisconsin in mid-December that night. Bro, y'all are weird. But if you look at December, obviously your tornado concentration not really focused on Wisconsin very much. The longest tracking tornado in December of all time was indeed Mayfield, Kentucky, / Benton, Kentucky, / Princeton, Kentucky, / Dawson Springs, / Bremen, / Hartford. There were like 10 tornado emergencies that night for one supercell. It's crazy. I mean, that was an insane night to say the least. And again, don't forget about the Clarksville tornado or the Bowling Green tornado either. We should probably actually look at December 10th, 2021 if we want to talk about that, but pretty crazy stuff. The December 10th, 2021 tornado had almost the exact same track as the December 9th, 2023 tornado. I mean, it was northwest of Clarksville. Like, voice crack. Yep, okay. Great to see that I have such supporting fans. I'm kidding. Anywhere. Again, I don't know what it was tonight, but we had a huge amount of viewership. Maybe it was the clickbaity title. I mean, it's not clickbait, because it's true, but I appreciate it. Again, if you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe. We do this every day for areas all across the country, even whenever others don't. We are 1 subscriber away from 3,970, chat. Click that sub button. Again, our 2025 severe weather season forecast has been legitimately spot on. I'm not trying to brag, but well above average zone. You'll notice every EF4 plus tornado that we've had so far this year has fallen in that area, except for Franklin. But Franklin fell in the slightly above average area, so still slightly below average for the Pacific Northwest. The Oregon-Washington event busted, so that verifies. Little early to say anything on the desert Southwest, because we're going to have to wait till summer, till monsoon season. And then wild card for Appalachia and the Northeast. Because, I'll be honest with you, the Northeast was by far the hardest region to predict this year. It's looking like it's going to be a bust, but again, the Northeast also has their main season in late summer, early fall. Alright, chat. We are 1 sub away, boys. 1 subscriber away. Let's do it. Yeah, I will totally make you owner of the channel. Yep. But yeah, I'm pretty proud because that is the first time I've ever done a full severe weather season forecast. Matt Prunty with the $5 donation. Let's go, Matt. Matt's down below in the chat. I would say that louder, but there are people trying to sleep right now. But thank you so much, Matt. That is incredible. Let's go. Spam up those Mats down below in the chat. Another goat. He's been here for so long. Matt down below. Let's get you thrown up on the dono board. That's incredible. Matt with the $5 dono. That's awesome. Thank you so much, bro. He is trying to sleep. Yep, Max is trying to sleep. No, but in all seriousness, thank you so much, Matt. That's crazy. Matt, boys. Again, he's been here for so long. He's always so supportive. So Matt in the chat. Yo, Ryan, I'm gonna pull it and I don't even know it. The Nacho on August 2020. Okay. But I don't think that's how the song goes, Sam. Please don't say the real version, though. No, bro, I totally appreciate that, Matt. That's awesome. Thank you so much, bro. Mats. And we did it, boys. 3,970 subscribers. We've got a week of somewhat active severe weather coming up. I would be shocked if we didn't hit 4K by the end of the week. And again, I can't thank you guys enough for that, because that's crazy. But, anyways, chatters. As I said in the intro, fellow chatters, I think we're going to end off here. Got to go to church in the morning early. A couple other things. So, I think we're going to end off the stream here. I will let you guys know we are going to have an unbelievable Twisted Chase coming out soon on the Davis's Games channel. So, if you haven't already, go subscribe to that channel. I know a lot of you haven't. Let's see if we can get it 200 on that channel by the end of April. Sounds crazy, but I think we can do it. Especially if we grind out more content on there. You guys loved the last Twisted Chase, and I can promise you the next one is even crazier. We have triplet tornadoes coming up. We also had the highest tornado I've ever rated in the game. So, what is this, bro? Anyway, if somebody wants to put the link to the Davis's Games channel down below in the chat, that'd be amazing. But outside of that, not a whole lot else to say. Again, I appreciate all the donations tonight from Matt, Clips, Sam, and Mr. Twister. I appreciate all you guys that tuned in as well. Obviously. You guys are incredible, bro. Don't ever forget it. But anyway. I'm waiting for the link to be in the chat, but there we go. Mr. Twister came in clutch. Everybody go subscribe to that channel if you want to see more extra content. I actually put a lot of effort into that content. I will say I probably put more effort into the second channel videos than the main channel as of recent, so go subscribe to it if you've not already. And hopefully tomorrow I feel a lot better, because I do want to do a forecasting video for Monday's event. But anyway, that's it for tonight, chat. I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace out.